Velocity.
Yeah, it's too bad. I mean, the ban for Scar Zed, obviously. Kiwi Kid locking in that Zac right away. I don't know if that's going to be a Crumbs jungle. We've seen a lot of Kiwi Kid top lane Zac as well. I got a message from Echo. I don't know how to interpret this.
Uh-oh.
Because he says, I hope you have good karma after this victory. But then 6 minutes later, he says there may have been a change in plans.
Faked himself out.
Yeah, it's like,
he's like,
you're going to play
being
karma?
sly.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
I guess we're not doing
disregard that. So good. At least he was nice enough. Everybody would always go up to Kobe and be like, Saint would be like, I'm playing Cassidy in the jungle. You should probably like guess that.
You should go talk about
Saint trolling. At least he was a nice guy to tell you. So Scar looking to pick here. He's saying, what? I need something that I can go full form in. And he obviously didn't pick for himself.
Yeah, Scara, we need to point this out. And I don't mean to rag on Scara at all in this, because I love Scara, but in the Dignitas losses, he has the same look after every single game. It's that, like, it's the Scara confused look.
Yeah.
He does it a fair bit on stream as well. Like, he has very specific mannerisms that will just replicate themselves all the time.
They've warranted montages.
Yeah.
I'm sure people have seen a few. But you are right. It's kind of, he himself is in a high state of ponderosity about the match.
He's a ponderer.
There's a word.
Yeah.
Right there. So we are going to pick the last two. No lie for Dignitas right here. We're going to see what they put on to the blue side.
So looks like they could have some swapping with the Elise or the Zac, because that's something that Kiwi Kid has played a lot of both.
For sure.
They always like to dance through the last picks.
Or at least Cutie Pie does.
Most likely it's the... Ooh, if he picked Alistair, that bastard. He's not gonna do it. I want to see his Alistair. Patoy plays a great Alistair.
He brought it back in the spring split. He's like, hey guys, this still works.
Oh yeah, that's right. Once again, this is a very Roam-centric composition for Dignitas. Scara uses his ultimate to scatter everyone, whereas Patoy wants to use his ultimate to go in. So really, they're just looking to use Patoy for his fear potential. 3 seconds of enemy losing control of their champion, and then they're just going to try to pick people off one by one. Everyone on Dignitas is really just kind of caring about themselves with this composition, and they're going to have to force as many small fights as possible. Good karma from Echo.
Locking it in. And I said it before, and obviously it's from Dodgeball, but Dignitas loves to lock in these dip, duck, dive compositions that can always move, gap close, get away on themselves. Jarvan, Elise, Zac. You have everything there to dodge out. So we'll see if Velocity can get those catches in. We do have Chris onto Riven. Not something we usually see him playing, but that karma, we're going to see who gets it this game.
Yeah. Who's going to have the karma? It's Echo.
Well,
it's going to be Echo.
I didn't mean it like that.
I hope I have good karma after this victory. So Chris has actually played a lot of Riven before the LCS, and then almost never in the LCS. When he was getting known before he joined any professional teams, he was known as one of the Riven guys. So he definitely has a bunch of experience on that. And I feel like since, with Echo kind of calling his shot there with the karma pick way beforehand, I feel like everyone on Velocity got to call their shot on their picks this time. Evaniscus got to play Zyra. Maple Street got to play Twitch. They're all just playing the stuff that they want to play. And maybe, for a team that has struggled all year, sometimes you talk about all the strategic things. We talk about Alex Penn and Lemon Nation planning everything out. Sometimes what you do to win, you just have some fun and you play what you're good at. And that's how you get the best play, especially if you've been struggling.
Look at Complexity when they picked up Prowley. All he did was have fun. Those laughs.
Okay, Scar is laughing again. Very loudly. Yeah, I think NK Inc. is, we have the soundproof headsets on, but if you're loud enough, you can pick it up through the microphone just a little bit.
It's nothing audible in a form or sense that you can figure out what word it was, but you're like, oh, he trolled me.
You could catch a laugh.
That's how it works. Velocity versus Dignitas on the screen behind us, now on the screen in front of you as we quickly disappear.
See you later.
Onto the Rift. We are underway. 15 seconds in. That's going to go up a second every time, and it's going to be a long one.
Every second it's going to... What was that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Time.
Just like you said the other time, there will always be left-handed people.
Yeah. There's always going to be someone who's left-handed. Like Chris.
like Chris. He is present within this game, and we're going to see if that helps them to grab this victory. A huge, destructive karma Q coming out right there. And really, back in the day, in some nations, that's one of the rudest things you can do.
All right, then. Gonna leave that one out there. I got to talk about Echo, though, and his karma play in particular. Karma is a tremendously strong laner, but then as a mage, in my opinion, she has a very hard time reaching the backline or getting through tanks and teamfights. So what Echo is going to have to do to make this karma work is absolutely dominate the laning phase and actually win the game quite early, or transition into a support for Maple Street, which would mean he actually can't take too much of the farm himself. He's in a very strange predicament right here as far as getting his optimal power off with karma.
We saw quite a bit of karma coming out in EU.
We've seen some top lane karma.
Yeah.
Obviously the jungle karma. I haven't seen Karma win many games in Europe, but we have been seeing more and more play of her. So these players are still kind of feeling her out. They see a lot of potential there, I think, just because, any one of her mantra spells is really good on its own. Just the amount of speed you can grant the team with an Alt D. But there's actually a very exciting, potentially, fight going down by the...
It's almost exciting.
Here.
It's going to get exciting.
Yeah, I feel like it's got to get
ramping up in excitement as we speak. And it looks like it climaxed. There we go. And back down. The excitement will come again.
That wasn't very exciting. I thought we were going to see a delayed invade. Are they giving the blue buff to Evaniscus?
This is exciting.
This is something new. I feel very sorry for NK Inc. I don't know what he's going to do now.
They're going to go over and take the dragon that's not there.
They're going to go for dragon. So they're going to try to tank it with the plants. The reason they gave Evaniscus level 2 is so he can get plants and he can detonate them on this dragon. This is the way they're going to try to trade damage on the dragon and sneak it at 2 minutes and 35 seconds. This is the velocity we've been waiting for, Rick.
There we go. You can see the smile on NK Inc.'s face. They're like, they have no idea. And they're actually doing this very well. If he comes out with this over 50% health, I will be impressed. And I'm still impressed.
That's cool. Why hasn't Velocity been doing stuff like this before? They clearly have it in the bag. Before the season, Velocity was talking about how they were going to pull off this risky stuff, and they need to. Got to see how this affects NK Inc. later, and we got to see how this affects the rest of Velocity, because that was a great sacrifice NK Inc. put in. He's still level 1, 3 minutes into the game on Jarvan. But that dragon is going to catch Dignitas completely off guard. They have no idea.
They went for that fast. He also smited. Has his flag for the jungle, so he'll be able to get through that. Looks like alone. Kiwi Kid in the top lane getting pushed out quite hard by Chris right now. Like you said, being that Riven player, not showing it too much for us in the LCS. But definitely having his way right now. He gets him with the third broken wings. Won't be able to pop the passive. Grabbing up. They both blow their ignites, though. That was a little odd.
And maybe Chris Crumbs lands a stun right here. They might be able to combo him down.
The wings are out. The ignite is down, coming in from Kiwi Kid, and he doesn't want to aggress there. They did force the flash. Not the worst to be lost on Riven with her gap closing, but still going to be effective.
Yeah, so Crumbs having to go and rescue Kiwi Kid a little bit there. Chris started with the red Elixir Riven and has burned through the remainder of his health potions, so as long as Kiwi Kid withstands a little bit more, he will have a bit of an edge in that lane.
Just as we were talking to Alex Penn in the last interview, he said, I think due to the changes, we might see a few more standard lane matchups, and that's what we're getting here out of this game as well. PewDiePie and Patoy versing off against Evaniscus and Maple Street. Patoy has been running some fiddlesticks lately. I like his variety of support champions.
And I wonder what they were thinking, or what Dignitas was thinking when Evaniscus came to lane with the blue buff. Because typically, you're thinking, oh, they messed up the pull and got blue. That's why they're late to the lane. They may still not realize the dragon is gone, because they haven't warded that area of the jungle yet. And just having a blue buff doesn't necessarily tell you they got the level 2 dragon.
240, so it's going to be...
It was a very late approach to lane, so if they were really thinking about it, they would be able to kind of figure out what it's like, well, they didn't invade red, they got the blue buff. What were they doing with all that time? Oh, bragging, but I'm not sure.
And I think it might even work better with Zyra, too, because it was a plant steal. It was definitely a plant steal.
It had to be. That only works with Zyra level 2.
5 minutes into this one, we'll figure out when exactly Dignitas makes their way to the middle of that river. And actually, they're pushed up quite far here because of Crumbs being behind them.
Yeah, and NK Inc. trying to come back in this game. This could be a terrible counter gank if they overcommit.
With that wave coming in, they really have to second guess this, and it looks like they will start to peel off.
Yeah,
This is super low. These guys, they're being kept out, and Kiwi Kid as well. So Chris doing what he can to pick up the slack for the bottom lane. Not that they're losing it that bad. It's 10 CS, but they're kept down and at the turret the entire time. So it's going to get worse and worse.
Yeah, the farm in that top lane between Chris and Kiwi Kid is actually still pretty close. Doesn't actually make up
Oh, yeah, you're right.
for the 350 gold of that red elixir. So Kiwi Kid,
Gotta take
even though it
everything
looks
into
like he's losing,
consideration.
hasn't had to detonate his passive yet. Still has that cell division, and hasn't lost. He has a bit of a risk of when Chris comes back to lane, since he's level 6, of just getting all in right away. But I feel like Kiwi Kid should be ready for it.
Winning a lane just doesn't come off of HP. Comes out of the inventory as well. We'll have to see if Kiwi Kid can now bring the CS up to equal out that lane in the way it should be for Chris. His flash and ignite are down. You got to remember from the last pressure Crumbs brought to the top lane. Chris will be heading back with a brutalizer and a ward, so he should be able to disengage on anything brought to him there. Crumbs is in base. Looks like he's going to start heading towards mid.
The reason this lane between Maple Street and AmaCutiePie is so one-sided for AmaCutiePie is because of the experience advantage that they had after Maple Street and Evaniscus took that dragon. Always having levels has just given CutiePie the ability to bully and is keeping him down in this lane.
So with Echo on Karma, as you said before, a little bit harder for Karma to dive to the back line. What does that purpose become in the late game team fight for Karma? Is it a lot of utility burst here and there?
It's a very confusing role for her there, since she doesn't have the true ultimate that a lot of other casters would have. Yes, it's utility focused, and you're basically looking for prolonged team fights with lots of kiting.
Echo walking in. A little bit of a problem there. You can see the shield and the speed. A little bit of that utility coming out right now for Echo. Kiwi Kid flashed in that top lane. Chris may be able to grab a bit of an advantage off of that.
So NK Inc. has no smite here, and Crumbs does. This could set NK Inc. far behind if they end up contesting this blue entirely. Neither jungler really wants to commit here, and they're basically just trading. Crumbs is worried about Maple Street collapsing in behind, and Skara might be trying to help them as well. They missed the stun, but they're trying to hit him.
That was a dodge that gives him the right positioning, but Maple Street didn't turn around there. He's still backing up. They said, we don't want anything to do with this, because blue is still up. There's the exploding cast. Cannot get a hit from Scar there on the body slam. The ignite is up. The repel is down. They get the Q. The true shot barrage going by just for a good look.
And that's the long game loss almost of everything that's happened to NK Inc. in this game, starting with the dragon. After he used Smite on Dragon and didn't hit level 2, NK Inc. had to go to red buff, didn't even got level 2 there, but then had to shop, then came back, and just because he was so far behind at that point, it weakened him for that eventual blue buff fight, and that's why Dignitas was able to get the first blood.
Great pressure coming out from Crumbs to keep himself omnipresent on the jungle, along with the rest of the team. This leaves Chris in the top lane, and he really, with these tussles and pushing Kiwi Kid out of lane, he, like you said, hasn't been able to grab too much of an advantage. The CS is still very close, and I'm sure the turrets have not taken much damage yet in those lanes, which they have not.
No, especially not with the standard lane setups.
Yeah.
Now, since it's 9 minutes in, the armor bonus the turrets have for the first 8 minutes is completely gone, and if teams have a window after shoving someone out of lane, the turrets could start falling very quickly.
Dignitas having a very scary press 6 composition here with the ability to disperse and displace the team of Velocity in their attempt to stop people from getting to that back line. They do have Evaniscus on Zyra though, so those dives from Kiwi Kid and Crumbs repels will be able to be stopped somewhat. It's going to be a barrage, for lack of a better word, of everything after that they have to dodge. Oh man, just missing the cocoon there, but it looks like they'll be able to follow up. Skara picking up a kill for himself in the game. That
was a nice wait and see by Skara. He's been shoving the lane very well and then faking ganks bottom again and again, which is why Echo tried to contest, and now Patoy flashes in for the fear.
Evaniscus, exhaust is down. He does throw out the zone ult of Stranglethorn, but it's not going to be enough. The red buff actually hasn't hit, But the true shot Baraz does, I was like, Crumbs, you got red buff. You're only using spells. You got to hit her. But they get it. Pick it up in the end.
Nice shot by AmaCutiePie right at the end there. Picking up another kill. And that was just the game Dignitas wants to play. They want to find as many roaming fights as possible, and Skara was the facilitator, I'd have to say, for both of those kills.
Chris still on a good trade of harass, definitely winning those, as you can see right in front of you. Brutalizer coming in for CutiePie here, and we've seen him do this a few times before, feeling the efficiency of that item early.
That's AmaCutiePie's build on Ezreal, it seems. He'll go right for there and then maybe towards the blue build. I'm not sure if he's going to take any liberties with that build this time. But also there was a second red elixir completed or just built by Chris. He's putting a lot of investment just into that lane against KiwiKid because he really wants to get an edge and then punish. But he's yet to be able to do that. He's been very close to killing KiwiKid multiple times, but never quite taken it over the top.
I feel like the early dragon almost can't be utilized because at that time, if you get the early gold, you get it to everyone.
You're not going to shop yet.
But you haven't shopped,
Yes.
and you don't want to leave the lane for the first few waves, so it really wasn't something they could build off of.
It didn't work for them this game, but I still love the strategy. It could have helped. It can help Echo against Skara and also Chris against KiwiKid. Because on their first shop, they're going to have that extra gold to then take advantage.
That's true.
It's a
Solo
delayed
lanes.
reaction, and it all depends on how much Crumbs does with the time gained when he doesn't have an enemy jungler threat against him.
CutiePie, that was his last bit of mana. He does have flash up, and he will proceed to use it. Should just be a walkout here for Batoy. He's going to use his ultimate to get away.
That was crafty.
He knew the
Batoy
crowd
had no-
control was gone,
Yeah.
so he's like, hey, we'll just do this.
Batoy had no flash from the previous engage, and since all of NK Inc. and Evanis's roots or knockups have been used, surprise party out of there.
Oh, CutiePie, you're low. Low on the mana. Get yourself out of there. Again, it goes down. He gets out with 300 health. This time, Crumbs might have been baited in. Here comes Echo from the outside. The minion takes it. Good guy, minion, but Crumbs goes down
but look
eventually.
out, Skara!
Boom!
Oh.
That was huge. Everybody going for the max distance ride on that one. Skara gets locked down. He's got the Athenes, but it's not going to allow him to fight that well just yet.
And as nice as that ultimate was, it wasn't a finisher, and then he was in 1v4. I'm actually surprised that Velocity wasn't able to kill him after that one. And that is actually what Karma wants, is what Velocity got there. Echo has the extended long fight where he gets a couple cycles. Karma wants to be able to use 2 Mantrid spells at least in a fight to get full effectiveness, since that's really her edge with no true ultimate. That's kind of what Velocity got there.
Chris is really not giving too much respect here to KiwiKid. Farming behind his turret, directly going at Kiwi. Kiwi with a lot of health sitting on the ground, forces the flash, and this lane's about to turn around a little bit here for KiwiKid.
KiwiKid is stacking a lot of armor. Ouch, shot.
Oh, that was close.
I'm surprised. You know, it's a good guess. AmaCutiePie was hoping that he was recalling in that brush and that he wouldn't be bold enough to take double golems. Since he did take double golems, KiwiKid gets a lot of turret damage now. So I'd say that was a very intelligent guess from AmaCutiePie, because if he's done the golems, it's potentially the wrong choice, but if he doesn't, then you're going to kill him. And then KiwiKid doesn't even take the turret. Come on, man. Looks like they're going for...
Thoughtception.
Yeah.
Sometimes too shallow, sometimes too deep. They'll never let you be right, chat.
No.
They will never, ever let you be
It's
right.
all those smiles and laughs.
15 minutes as we approach that into the game. 3-1. The gold has been closed up a little bit here between what's going on. It's within 1,000 right now. That 800 gold lead in favor of Velocity. Yes, that's right, as they're down in kills.
And now it's a straight-up 3v3 in the jungle. Let's see how this goes.
We're going to see. There's the 2. Oh, bouncing them apart as they try to get the buddy system going on. He keeps Chris in the Cataclysm, and he wasn't using much to get out, but he does save himself.
He's able to hop out afterwards. But that 3v3 was very on the side of Dignitas, even without the Zac ultimate. Echo's doing his best to save the red buff as well, at least because he was untouched in this fight. NK Inc.'s got to worry about getting bursted down.
Kiwi Kid flies into the fight, trying to get the speed over. How did you just make it out alive?
Once again.
And he is limping away. Echo could pick it up with one more Q. He's got good shield. This is where the utility, that blue buff starts to come in, hits the blobs. NK Inc., will you dive over the wall? He's like, no, here's a ward.
This fight is going on for a real time.
That was so late. What are you doing? The bottom lane. Zyra goes down as well. They're going to try to trade this back. He tries to get the plant down. The true shot barrage of Cutie Pie just missing wide, but Toy's got a ward in the push. He goes down. There is a bloodbath everywhere.
Having 3 kills on I'm a Cutie Pie and Skara is fantastic for Dignitas's overall plan. The fight inside Dignitas' jungle was a little bit loopy, and now they're just going to continue to dive.
From Wraiths, doing what he can.
Oh, wow.
Gets the heal on. Can he get the damage? The shield is so big. That's that utility. The last Q, the buff transfer. And the minions won't be able to chase.
That was
Look at
almost
Echo.
really cool.
He's pulling his hair out. He knows it's so close.
He'd actually timed his mantra W right for when the dive hit, which is an absurd heal. It's an instant 20% heal and then 20% more over the duration of it. Let's check out how this kill happened bottom, though.
There's not much you can do in the call surprise.
And then Maple Street tried to get something back. He did give one, but giving the double kill to I'm a Cutie Pie, not necessarily worth it.
That was like a very fast reaction by Maple Street. Like, he heard the sound, like the first yell of Ezreal. He's like, flash. That true shot barrage looked like it was completely off, but Maple Street was just too fast.
Yeah.
And he got himself the kill with that.
No one has been criticizing Maple Street as a player this entire split, even being on Velocity. He's been, when they win, like hard carrying them.
Yep.
He'll have 10 or 15 kills. And to Velocity's credit, this could be a game where they maybe try to get that again.
Oh, the 2v1 situation is just over the wall here, but Chris says, this feels good. Let's go. I got my carrot out. He's going to be going for crumbs, trying to get that kill down. Wind slash so close to getting that kill. He's left with 300 HP rather. That ticks down. He's got 112 left. He's going to go in for no. The shield being brought on.
That was a very close engagement. And if Chris would have held his third Q for when Crumbs dropped, he would have gotten the kill. Round 2.
The second
Round
chance.
2. He might recall all the way by the time he gets there. It's gone.
Nope, it's gone.
I think he was on. I think he had the aim right.
It looks good.
Yeah.
It looked pretty good. Kiwi Kid was kind of trying to hug the turret there to give him a bit of like fog of war vision just on the hip. Like, here it is. You might want to shoot. You might want to shoot here. That gold lead of 800 is now 2,000 in favor of Dignitas. They've found their way around the map, and that roam has definitely given them the control and is causing Velocity to have to adapt quickly mid-game here.
Ooh, I'm a Cutie Pie is probably going for Trinity Force. We have not seen that in a while as he's getting fucked by Maple Street.
He's missing the 3 Dorns that he usually builds, but the Triforce would be cool to see. I'm sure Freak will be happy. The engagement here, NK Inc. just on the backside. We'll see who thinks they have the engagement here. For a big man, Gragas moves very quickly. Probably one of these most of the mobile champions that you would kind of not consider.
Chris going real aggressive on this turret.
This is respect being given and not given at the same time. When one has more health than the other, the fight is almost going a different way, but it doesn't look like Chris is going to have too much of an advantage here. The slingshot was used quite early there to keep him in range to kill in mid lane. Dignitas is finding something somewhere if the other thing's not happening.
Scar's trying to take over this game.
Like I said, he's going for that final form.
Yeah. What's crazy about this one, though, is how close the gold actually is despite the 9-2 kill score. A lot of that has to do with the early dragon Velocity took down. Yeah, this is that kill on NK Inc. It was just Crumbs landing a point-blank stun, and then Dignitas using all their spells. A very straightforward kill, but again, here comes the fight bottom.
Oh, Evanes gets that boom! Exploding cask. Maple Street trying to run away. He's like, I'm feared right now. I don't know where to go. It still hits me. Well, I'm invisible.
Yeah. Oh, he's not too invisible. They're still able to guess where he is. To get back to the point, as Dignitas takes another blue steal, this relates to it. NK Inc. got set so far behind by that dragon, Dignitas is continually punishing that fact.
Boom! Goes away, goes to Gragas. Skara, it's happy hour, he says. Chris trying to push that top lane. He does have the first here, but again, the engagement. Dignitas walks out of the jungle. Deja Vu walks back into the jungle. Doesn't make it over the wall, but Cutie Pie does.
Yeah, he does. Trinity Force completed. This is 11 of the 12 kills for Dignitas on their 2 most threatening damage dealers and highly mobile characters as well. Scar and Cutie Pie are looking to wreck face here. Anywhere they go, they want to fight, and Velocity almost needs to group up against these guys because otherwise you're going to continue to get obliterated.
Still doing big damage to pretty much... Oh, the Flash Sphere! They get the Drain on as well. Cutie Pie finishes that one off. The Brutalizer Trinity Force build coming through here. The mid-game, it's going to be super powerful.
This is the time for Dignitas right now. Cutie Pie doesn't even have boots right now. The Trinity Force is something we have not seen on Ezreal in a while since the Iceborne Gauntlets kind of do the same thing, but more defined. Cutie Pie just built a Ghost Blade as well.
Yeah, he did. I saw it come up in the chat, and I was like, all right, that's on Riven, that's on... No, oh, it's on Cutie Pie.
Yep.
All right.
Good on him.
We'll see what we can do with it. Does that synergize with him? I mean, obviously, the speed. You get that anyways out of your passive.
Yeah, a little bit.
You get some crits.
He gets move speed if he pops the active, which could increase his mobility. And it will also allow him to stack more armor penetration if he really wants to.
Yeah.
A little bit of crit to help with this Trinity Force. He's just going for the overall stats, but mostly, I think he built it because he's 6-0.
He's like, what? Infinity Edge Zephyr? Okay, double lift.
Triforce Ghostblade.
Triforce Ghostblade. Oh, Scar putting himself in a 3v1. Knows the team is on the other side. He's very low here. The Drunken Rage is on, but it won't keep him alive for long. NK Inc. follows in the 2-for-1 retribution here coming up from Dignitas. Crumbs and Kiwi Kid definitely reconsidering the fight.
A little bit of miscommunication on those flashes. Chris in, Echo out.
Yeah, they want to be able to swap that the different way. The flip side would have been better. Maple Street does not decide to chase from the back because, yeah, behind him is an even bigger squad of Dignitas.
There was a bit of trouble if he tried to open up on Zach there. Overall, though, I have to say Velocity won that fight. They took the deaths, but they got the shutdown bonus on Scar, and as long as they don't die here, it's all right.
That's going to be pretty big. Cutie Pie just on the outside. It's Kiwi Kid with that red buff, so Dignitas, or rather Cutie Pie, is trying to walk himself into these fights. You can see it caused him a little bit of trouble there. Get the auto attack to keep himself alive with some HP. I don't think the blobs will make it out. Cutie Pie doing what he can. He needs to get out.
It's a correct assumption that those blobs are dead, and that was an overdive and then some by Dignitas. Cutie Pie flashed in, only to never auto-attack, because he then recognized the error of his ways. Can he get him?
Oh! That's big.
The error of his ways, and he nearly died of the Twitch poison, but he essentially baited Kiwi Kid into dying. Here comes Patoy.
Huzzah! Happy birthday, Maple Street. I didn't know what his address was, but Patoy had it.
I mean, he lives on Maple Street. It's in his name.
Well, there's obviously more than one house.
231 Maple Street.
Touché. 17-5, 23 minutes into the game. It's 36,000 to 31,000 here. Dignitas is increasing this lead quite a bit. Every time they show their hand, it's Velocity folding, except for that last one. They got the bluff a little bit, like you said. We're able to gain some ground on Shutdown Gold. If you can get Twitch on the outside, get some good ults coming in from Riven, get them squishy, and get that spray, and definitely pray.
Regardless of the bad fights Dignitas has kind of had,
wow,
they need to get... They need to keep playing this chaotic way because they don't necessarily have the team that groups up and just has great team fights. The chaos of this game is what Dignitas lives for.
Crumbs having a bit of trouble here. He's not even communicating for the team, but you can see them semi-mobilizing. It may be the dark wind here coming in from Patoy, but they back off as well. Power in numbers. They know Crumb's going to be safe as he repels away.
Oh, don't walk on that barrel.
Scar trying to play that one before he turned the page. He could have had some extra damage onto Echo.
Those shields are very powerful from Echo right now.
Boom, Scar goes right up. Oh, Fat Man goes down, and it looks like they are going to be able to just fight around the turret. Again, denying that it's there. No, somebody had focus onto it.
Down.
Turret does go down. Maple Street is on the wrong side of the fight. That's the front side. True Shot Barrage clearing through, and it does pick up Chris on the back side.
5th time's the charm there for the True Shot Barrage. Gets the long-range snipe, and that's the chaos that Dignitas wanted to create. It seemed like Scar had made a mistake, but the rest of Dignitas just flew in to help him, and Cutie Pie continues his dominance right here. Looks like they get the inhibitor.
nice dodge by Patoy. I thought they would have gotten some extra damage, but they make their way out. The inhibitor goes down. They have nice waves to push in the top and the bottom lane.
Yeah, let's take a look at this fight one more time, though, just to see how chaotic it became. Cutie-Pie actually ends up sniping a kill from the side on Echo after Echo had escaped. And from here, Kiwi Kid actually just kind of mans up. Dignitas ignored the turret for a while, and then Cutie-Pie took it down. But since Maple Street was in a really awkward position, headshot for Chris as well, all the damage threats of Velocity never really got to participate, despite Dignitas picking a bad spot in that fight to go, which was in between the turret.
That True Shot Barrage is 645 mixed damage on the end. It's more just 500 itself right now with 100 AD and 27 AD
Here
on
comes
the
another
backside.
one, though. This could be game.
Big fights coming in. The True Shot misses. Misses quite big, but it's been that exploding cast. Not a lot of damage is done by any of the ultimates of Dignitas, but they're so far ahead right now in levels completely. 15 to the 13 of Echo.
Oh,
they are pushing
fast.
Velocity out of this fight. There is the fear. There's the takedown. Skara finds another one, and at this point, Dignitas is just trying to get the kills from each other.
And that was Velocity just praying that Dignitas forgot that Baron was a thing, because exposing themselves that far outside of the base is suicide against this team if Dignitas finds them. Dignitas did find them, and they get the 4-0.
An easy Baron coming in for Dig. Usually something they do not have in their dictionary. It looks like they are going to represent onto that. Whoa.
Bertoy's gonna take that one. Yeah.
We feel for him. Hey, dude, he gets into the fight. There's one thing when I was playing and kind of learning coming up, they were like, actually, I'm going to take it. I go in more. I'm like, but I'm long range. He's like, but I'm going to be hitting people more. I'm in the fight. I was like, all right, you're in the fight. I get it. But Toy's going to be in the fight.
He's going to slow people down with his low speed fiddlesticks auto attacks.
24-6, 27 minutes in. You can see both of these teams pretty much enjoying themselves. There's a relief of stress you can feel from them.
I don't know how much fun Velocity's having right now.
Well, it would be
Dignitas is enjoying
You can see, that goes smiling right now.
Yeah.
He's not having a bad time. There's a Cataclysm coming in. It looks like they will go. Evaniscus pushed right into the wall. They do take him down. They jump right past the entire team. Pretty nice flag and drag there coming in from NK Inc. to thwart that engagement. Chris says, we're still going, baby. It's going to be Crumbs. Oh, the Baron buff, that regen, keeping him alive. Easter Bunny goes down.
You're right, Rid, though. They are actually all smiling right now. Chris really wanted that kill. It's good to see Velocity's at least taking it a little easy right now.
Yeah.
Dignitas definitely wanting to use this game for momentum. It's going to help a lot of their score lines. Cutie-Pie built the Zephyr as well.
He did build it.
Smart choice.
Making a bit of a move here into Zephyr, seeing him come in the inventories of the AD carries. Hearing that kind of becoming a likable build on Vayne, as we saw yesterday and have heard from the community.
So the Vayne thing is absolutely legit.
Yeah. This is Cutie-Pie, and I think you can just kind of categorize it as Cutie-Pie.
This is a Cutie-Pie build, which is legitimate in its own way.
Always. 6-1 in turrets here, Jat. It's quite a bit of global gold that's being fed in there from the turrets, but the objectives now going over. Barons have been, falling into the hands of Dignitas. A lot of this almost made him try. That was pretty nice. He actually had the range to do it. It's not going to pull you over from the queue, but he did get the repel in. A quick explosion of Chris in the top lane.
Yep.
We get some pings going down.
They're saying,
we need to guard this.
Run away.
Run away. We're down one. We probably shouldn't fight. Evaniscus buys an Oracle for any of the wards that will be placed inside the base right now.
That's the wrong direction,
They're not making it out. He wants to bounce. Kiwi Kid keeping himself on the outside of this one, helping that death KDA ratio. Or I guess it wouldn't be a KDA. It'd be a DDA. Looks like he is going to be taking out Maple Street. Echo on the backside. And this is kind of where not having that true ultimate, not having something to quickly burst the team with that karma, you can see it coming into play a little bit.
He's not able to get through Dignitas' mob of power right now. And here we go. Nexus turret's down. Run away, NK Inc.
NK Inc. He's got some scent on him that says Dignitas chase me right now because they like the smell. The other, looks like Skara wanted the Nexus. It's going to be Kiwi Kid going in. Exploding cast. Can he get close enough? It's not going to. Chris actually just came back up, so he is full HP. Evaniscus just comes back up. Trying to zone him out. Skara is just smashing his head off of this Nexus, and he's the only one. Nobody's helping him.
Yeah, he wants to end the game. The rest of his team, not so much. Kiwi Kid, look out! No, he died again.
Shut down by Chris.
That is only fitting.
The Kiwi Kid died exactly at the end of the game.
You need to do that for the style points, I think, at the end. Say, I don't care about the deaths. I care about winning.
If you're going to have a record in something, you better make it
Insurmountable.
There, thank you. Didn't have the word.
Playing to go against me, it would kind of suck, but...
I like hearing what they have to say.
Playoffs were in our grasp.
I love hearing what they have to say. So, just such a good mentality to have.
They need to be able to stay together as a team as they move toward the promotion tournament.
Were you not? It was free. Holy shit. Because we were just like,
Dignitas knew about that.
They knew.
Yeah.
They knew. But let's talk about that a little bit, because we saw it happen, and we were like, it's near 1,000 gold for these guys.
Yeah.
But can
Right
they go
at the
back
start
and
of the
spend
game.
it? Did they utilize it? And the solo laners, Chris wasn't able to get kills every time he got Kiwi Kid low in the top lane, so the gold didn't really go anywhere.
Yeah, there's a couple things that happened.